Howdy do, it's Mari. I'm going off the dome today, so you might have to bear with a little bit of stuttering. But I just want to talk to you guys on a more intimate level that I just am not able to do through short form because of the time restriction that I have. I usually keep my videos to around a minute long, and that's just not enough to talk to you guys about a lot of things that are on my mind. It's really important to me for you guys to understand why I make videos at all in the first place. And so I wanted to sit down with you guys today so you guys can really get a feel for why I make videos at all. So some of you guys might know my dad is a YouTuber. I don't know if that's exactly like the best way to describe him because his source of income is not from YouTube. He does have like 200 something thousand followers or subscribers, but his income primarily comes from Japanese textbooks. And he's been on YouTube for over 10 years. And a significant part of my life involved my dad filming things, trips to Japan that we would have together as a family. My dad just loves making videos, okay? That's just the kind of life that I've lived. It's the environment that I've grown up in. I think a lot of people think that that's a cool thing, and I think it is as well, but at the same time, there were absolutely difficulties that came with that. In the earlier days of YouTube, things involving children, the boundaries, they were not set yet, right? And I do not fault my dad for this at all, okay? And I need to stress that point because I really don't want people to go and send my dad any amount of hate because he's learning right along with all of us and the world what is appropriate involving like putting children on your platform and whatnot. To a certain degree, like my dad knew that it was lucrative for him to have his kids in his videos, and that was something that he would ask of us pretty often. And Arissa did it, my sister did it for more videos than I did. I think most of the ones that I'm in have since been taken down, and for the most part I refuse to be in the videos. I didn't want to be on his platform. I didn't want to be online in that way, and considering that his audience primarily consists of people learning Japanese, a lot of them were adults that fetishized us, and they would find our private Instagrams and harass us, and that wasn't the best feeling. So there was a lot of things like that. Or like, my dad would document things, even for just like family videos that he wasn't going to share online. Like he would chase me around the house while I'm crying, having a meltdown, like in my toddler years. And then, as a joke. I don't know how much this is a joke. I think he doesn't really understand how upsetting this was to me. Like, it's one of my trauma pillars, but like, he would tell me my whole entire life, like, oh, I'm gonna find this video of you having a meltdown. I'm gonna play it at your wedding. Like, he would say things like that, and like, that has like always been like genuinely so upsetting to me. So that's just the kind of environment that I grew up in, okay? Even in college, like my dad got into poetry and he would write poems about our relationship or the trauma that I personally experienced that had nothing to do with him. And he would post that to YouTube, and I would have to beg, please take this down, right? Never was I asked for permission for those things. And so consent is really big for me, and that's something that I actively practice on my platform. Every person that's in my life that ever shows up in my videos has been asked for permission every single time. They are allowed to revoke permission whenever they want, whether it be a year after I post it, the day after, or even beforehand, right? If I'm like, hey, I'm vlogging this, is that okay? And they say no, I'm just cutting them out or not vlogging them at all, okay? I also have a pretty good boundary about not tearing people down in my videos, I'm not only going to talk about the positives in my life because I am documenting my life, but at the same time, I'm not going to tear someone's image down for no reason. First, I just wanted to make that clear that everyone in my videos has explicit consent that can be revoked at any time. And it's something that's really important to me because that's not something that I experienced growing up. Now, as far as vulnerability goes, there was a time in my life where I felt like nobody deserved to know anything about me. I used to not post anything about my life online. I used to not go on Instagram. I used to not post at all. And then it came a point where I think it was right around the COVID times where I was really working hard to try to make my art happen. And I was doing that through Twitter. And I realized with the rise of short form content that it was foolish not to explore short form content to try to promote my artwork, because that's what's most popular at the time, and that's how people were gaining massive followings, right? So it was foolish not to take advantage of such a phenomenon. So I started making short form videos, and I started to share my life with people online in a way that I had never done before. Up until this point, my dad essentially controlled the internet space in my mind, right? He owned the internet. He's the one with the following. He's the one that tells the story. Despite that his content doesn't revolve around us, I know he goes on lives, I know he talks about us, and that was something that weighed heavy on me. And I quickly realized that this is a way for me to, in a way, claim my story, use my voice to talk about my life, and I found a new passion, which was storytelling. I never thought of myself as a good storyteller, but it just kind of ended up being something that I fell into. It ended up completely changing my life, right? I originally blew up on TikTok for talking about my summers in Japan, growing up in Japan in the summertime, and going to school in Japan. That was kind of the premise of how I originally micro blew up on TikTok. And then there was the jellyfish haircut era where I was mostly making hair tutorials, and then that kind of merged into me talking about my sister and I's relationship over videos of me doing hair. Then I went through a horrible, horrible breakup with a man that I was with for over 3.5 years. It was like 3 years and 9 months. And at that time, that was the hardest thing I had ever gone through in my life. And that happened in September, early September, end of August, 2022, I believe. And then, no, maybe it was 2023. And then that December, my childhood cat passed away. A month before that, my godfather passed away. And then the next summer, my grandpa is in hospice. He's given a few weeks to live, and we're having to go to Japan to say goodbye to him for the last time. My grandma's also in her 90s. So at this point, I'm going through an immense amount of grief. At this point, like, my YouTube was barely getting any views. I didn't have much money at all. I was not able to really survive off of content creation. That being said, I was sharing anyways. I was sharing for the community. I love connecting with people. I love meeting people and talking to you guys that have gone through the same things. I love hearing that my videos have helped people or makes them smile. It's something that means a lot to me. And I've always viewed my life as my magnum opus. It is my greatest work as an artist, which sounds silly because life is just something you live, right? But to me, every choice I make, my life is my art. And for me to document that in my human experience is my craft, okay? I paint, I crochet, I do all those things, but this is my medium. My life, I am my own medium, okay? That's just how I operate in this world. And through experiencing all this grief in my life, and you know, death has always been a pretty large part of my life. I lost friends in high school. People that I knew passed away in middle school. It's always been at the forefront of my life. And I also struggled really heavily with suicidal ideation for a large portion of my life. And for me to get to this point in my adulthood where I was grieving the people who raised me and the people that I loved so much growing up, I had to reframe my mindset, and I gained this newfound appreciation for life where I was just happy to be here, whether it be the sad and bad and hard parts, the grief. I had to learn to almost laugh at it, like, wow, I can't believe I can hurt this much. Even through my breakup, I was like, I cannot believe I'm able to hurt this much. And to hurt this much means that I'm alive, and I'm grateful. I'm so grateful to be alive, because there are so many people who never even make it as far as I have. And life is such a gift, right? So my grandfather's dying of Alzheimer's at an old folks home. Arissa and I visit, and my grandparents live in a very rural part of Japan where like we barely even had Wi-Fi. Most of our time in Japan isn't documented in any way. We barely have pictures with my grandpa, besides the ones that my mom took or whatever, but like there's not a lot, okay? There's not a lot. And a lot of our childhood, a lot of our times in Japan is only written in our heads, in our memories. And us visiting my grandpa in hospice, I believe it had been 6 years since we had gone to Japan at all. Because of COVID and their strict travel restrictions, we were not able to see my grandparents for a very, very long time. And this was the first time that Arissa and I were going together where we both have phones. We have all this technology with us. We have access to Wi-Fi. We have cameras, right? So despite the difficult time we were going through, I took it upon myself and made it my mission to document my goodbye with my grandfather, my sister's goodbye, my mom's goodbye, and it was something that meant a lot to all of us, because this is the last time that we were going to be able to say goodbye to my grandpa. It was the last time we were going to be able to see him at all. It was incredibly important to me. My mom helped me, my sister helped me, and I made the vlog series that blew up my YouTube channel. I gained like 300,000 subscribers in the span of a month or two. It truly changed my life. But because of us losing my grandfather and me documenting it, I'm able to live off of my work now, live off of my videos. And I'm forever grateful for that. During this time, you know, my series was getting like 30 million views a month, which is batshit crazy. Okay, it was crazy. And at this point, I had a rule that I wouldn't even read the comments past like a video that got 100,000 views, because at that point, it just goes completely crazy, out of line, and people just say whatever, and it's really not great for your mental health. It's not great to know what the general public thinks of you. And when you're posting something as vulnerable as a death in your family, it's really not a great feeling, okay? And a common comment that I got around that time was that I'm exploiting my grandparents, which is just, it was always absurd to me, because I never shared anything that was extremely private. You guys never even saw my grandpa. I never filmed him. You maybe saw us from a distance with him in the bed, but you never saw my grandpa. then people were accusing me, oh, is there even a grandpa? You're lying, you're lying. I don't lie in my videos. You know how much work it would be to lie in my videos? That's so fucking stupid. Like, I'm sharing my life. This is for me. This is for me. Do you know how often I look back and I think, wow, like, I visited Seattle last October, like, I want to look back, how was I feeling then, right? I document my life for me. It's for me. It's always been for me. It's always been for my family. This is how my family keeps up with me. This is how my friends keep up with me. It's interesting that there are so many people who project how they feel about vulnerability and expression onto me, thinking, well, I would never share something like this. I would never be this vulnerable online. This is embarrassing. You're exploiting this. It's crazy what people would do for attention. And it's like, I was doing this when I was getting no attention, okay? And even if I wasn't able to provide for myself through my videos, I would still be doing it, right? My long-form videos don't get views for shit, and I still make them for the love of the game, baby. But my point is, I enjoy sharing. I enjoy documenting my life because my life is my art. I truly believe that my vulnerability is a gift to this world. That is how I live. To process my grief so publicly, although it was extremely difficult and extremely hard, it was extremely rewarding. And I know that it touched people in ways that I could have never done had I not let myself be that vulnerable. And I'm extremely grateful for the connections that I made with my audience because of that. Sharing to me is really important, whether it be the good days or the bad days, because I never want to idealize my life or glamorize my life in an unrealistic way. I want to be real with you guys. Authenticity is really important to me, believe it or not. And, you know, I share the beautiful relationship that I have with my sister. I share all the fun we have, but we have experienced an extraordinary amount of grief in the last few years. And truthfully, it has genuinely helped me with my grieving process to be able to talk about my love for my family, to talk about my memories with my grandpa and share with you guys, and to have so many people resonate with that. It felt like this is what I'm meant to be doing. This is what I can give to the world. Okay? So, where am I going with this? That's how my YouTube channel blew up. That's what I'm known for, is for my vulnerability and my storytelling, I guess. Real life story, my fucking life. I recently started seeing a man from Hinge that I have really grown to like a lot, and the feelings are very well reciprocated. And as a precursor, there are so many dates that I went on that you guys never heard about because it wasn't important enough for that to be a part of my journey. Like, that wasn't part of the story I was telling. That wasn't the part of my life that I cared to share, and that was private to me. But I started seeing this man after almost a year, 9 months, 10 months of being celibate and being extremely exclusive about who I'm seeing and raising my standards and really just looking for somebody that's right for me. I have known this man for like almost 4 weeks now, or like 3.5 weeks in, and I have been talking quite a bit about him on my page. And suddenly it feels like people have forgotten what I do on the internet, what I do. I know that social media is a shallow place and a lot of things are carefree. That being said, I've never considered my videos to be that way. It's something deeply serious to me, and I care a lot about what I'm putting out. And going back to consent, I have spoken to Hinge Man over and over again about how He is allowed to revoke any consent. Like, I need him to understand what it means to be exposed to a platform with millions of people. I've gotten a lot of feedback on my videos saying that I'm oversharing. It's not good to talk about relationships in such an early phase. To me, this part of our relationship, whether it lasts weeks, months, or years, I think new love like this is so beautiful. So beautiful. I am documenting how I feel right now for me. Once again, like always, I am documenting this for me, selfishly, with his permission, of course. I feel like I'm on the precipice of something beautiful, and I want it to be documented. Whether people think that's bad luck or bad for the relationship, if it ends up being that way, man, then it's just not meant to be. I'm always down to make a fool of myself. I'm tough, okay? Like, it's hard to feel embarrassed for me. I've had much worse things about me shared with the internet when I had no control. And right now, this is up to me to share with you guys, and I'm sharing it because I genuinely want to. It's not for attention. It's not for views. It's for my craft, my art. That is my life. This is what I'm like writing into my story because it's important to me and it feels significant to me. So that's why I'm sharing it. Also, I'm editing right now, so I look a little bit crazy, but I needed to add this. It's crazy to think that off of like 3 or 4 1-minute videos, people think that I've shared intimate details about my relationship when you don't know his name. You don't even know what he looks like. And all you know is that we read books together and he's made me matcha and cookies. You know? So, intimate details is a stretch. It's a stretch. You guys just know he exists. And that's about it. And I'm not saying that to be a little sassy to my entire audience, okay? I have a hard time expressing that without seeming super sassy, but it's just like some of those comments, man, they just make me roll my eyes because they talk to me in such a condescending manner when, you know, they're the ones getting parasocial, projecting their own feelings, as well as just talking down on me as if I should feel how they feel because they know best about my life and my private relationships. No. I'm not going to switch up and all of a sudden become closed off because I have a following all of a sudden. Somebody called me an internet personality. I'm going to post like nobody's watching, okay? Because I'm not going to let the size of my audience change who I am, and that's something that's also been very important to me. I don't want my craft to be changed by an outside force. There was a time where I felt really guarded, like I didn't want to share anymore after my series going back to Japan, but I know in my heart of hearts that my vulnerability is a gift to this world. That's my purpose in life. It's my superpower. I've literally always been this way. I've always been labeled a drama queen. I've always been labeled a crybaby. I would cry in front of people no matter what, okay? I cried a lot in middle school. I cried a lot in high school, and I was never shy about it. And people would say it was embarrassing, and I would just laugh. It was always just funny to me because how is it possible that I can be this sad? Right? Like I said before, like that's a sign that I'm alive and that's a sign that I'm lucky to be here, and it's part of the human experience. And the only difference now is that it's documented, right? I'm proud of my work. I'm really proud of my work. I love what I do. Why am I crying? I'm thankful all the time that I've been blessed with such an incredible audience that I feel like really understands me. I feel really lucky that I get to do what I love for work and to make a living off of it. I'm not doing it with any ulterior motives. besides wanting to connect with people, wanting to share, and helping spread joy. Oh. The maintenance man just put a sign up on my door outside, and I'm crying here talking to a camera. Awkward. Awkward. But, yeah, I'm thankful all the time. I'm really happy about the place that I'm in now. I'm so grateful. And it was just really important for me to sit down here and talk to you guys about why I do this. Because, you know, as a content creator or internet personality, as some people might want to call me, which I just simply don't agree with, okay? I have the gift that is connecting with an audience and sharing my life, and it means a lot to me to bring any amount of joy or healing or just even having you guys feel anything at all from my videos. I put my heart and soul into these videos, and it means a lot to me that it's resonated with so many people. I guess what I want to say is that I don't care if it's embarrassing to some people. I don't care. I'm really proud of what I do. I know that I'm going about things in a way that's ethical. I'm very careful about how I document my life. I don't do it selfishly. That's something that's really important to me, that I respect the people in my life, because that's part of who I am and my principle as a person. I feel like with the short form content, I just never really had the chance to talk to you guys about why. And I'm really happy and thankful that I get to do that with you guys today. And you know, maybe my perspective is a little bit skewed because of my upbringing, right? I see the kind of things that my dad shares online. I know what has been shared online about me that I never in my life would have thought to share online. I'm proud of my vulnerability, even if it might be a little bit fucked and skewed because of my childhood. That's what makes me me, and I'm proud of me. I'm proud of the adult that I am. Hingeman really appreciates this about me. It's something that he really likes about me. And that's exactly the kind of person I'm looking for. He's an artist himself, and he understands that this is how I document my life and that this is my craft, that I'm documenting my human experience, and that means a lot to me as well. He really understands me in that way. And again, despite that, he's still able to revoke consent at any time, and I will never fault him for that, because being online is hard. I send people videos before I post them all the time to make sure that I have their full consent before I post things, okay? So, yeah. I needed to tell you guys why I post things and what my process is regarding consent and how I ended up here. So, yeah. I also think it's interesting that, you know, like, I gained all these followers from sharing about my grandpa's, you know, passing. And now it's like the Hingeman thing is a big deal. Like, will I be sad if Hingeman and I don't work out? Of course. Of course I would be. But I'm confident that this kind of connection, if it doesn't work out in a romantic sense, like, we'll be friends forever. Okay? Like, I have no doubt in my mind about it. And I have gone through so much in my life. Like, I genuinely value the good experiences and the bad. I've switched my perspective in a way where I just try to remain grateful for the life that I have, and I try to take the difficulties that come in my life with grace as learning experiences, and not just that, but a privilege to get to experience those things at all. Yeah, I'm probably rambling now, but that's all I wanted to say to you guys today. I want to sit down and talk to you guys like this more often, if that's okay with you. I don't know if the yap sesh is really up your guys' alley, but this is what I would like to do more often instead of overthinking what I want to do for long form content. I'm sure some more, you know, exciting videos will come your way. Maybe. I can't keep my promises normally, so don't get too invested in that promise. But yeah, I want to sit down and talk to you guys in this way where I can really just kind of show you guys who I am, how I think, and connect with you guys in this way as well. And, you know, talk to you guys from the soul. You feel me? So, yeah, that's it for today. The sun is setting, so it is time for me to go. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. I love getting to know you guys. I love talking to you guys. I love meeting you guys. I'm forever grateful for the life that you guys have given me, because I would have nothing if it weren't for you guys, and that's just the reality. I worked hard, but you guys are the ones that recognize that, and I appreciate every single one of you so, so much. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye. Janet. I wish you guys all a super sparkly rest of your week, and I'll catch you guys next time.